Oh, oh, all right. Welcome everybody to the first episode of the Coach's Corner. I am Coach. Guys, introduce yourself. To my left is Keely. To my right is Deb. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the
Okay,
people
well,
how
you
you.
just said who I am. I am Keith.
Well, tell me how long you've been a Falcons fan. How about that?
Since birth, my dad was a Falcons fan. He was born right here in Atlanta in the Fourth Ward. Grew up in the Fourth Ward. I grew up here in Atlanta, and my dad was a avid Falcons fan, and um, he wanted his son to, be a fan as well. So, we were pretty trash early on in the late 80s, early 90s until um, I think I first became a fan around the 90-91 season because of a obvious DB by the name of primetime Deion Sanders. He was a big star here in Atlanta, and he was playing two sports. And when I tell you 90-91, even though I was only like 9 years old, Atlanta was on fire. And I had no choice to join my dad on the couch.
Right on, right on. Deb, how about you?
I've been an Atlanta Falcons fan for 10 years, I want to say. So I'm like originally from Mexico. My football was soccer, when I came to America. So my ex was actually the one who introduced me to the whole football live. He was a Falcons fan. So every game we watched was Falcons. So I just stuck with the Falcons ever since I
Oh,
learned about football.
So, Dale,
okay.
quick question. So, the player that brought me into the Falcons, I guess, fandom was Dion. Is there a particular player that stuck out for you?
Julio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jet
All right.
Jones.
Julio Jones.
And that's for me. For those who don't know, I go by Coach. Been coaching football for the last 15 years. Played all through my life until I tore my knee up. I became a Falcons fan as what Keely said when Deion Sanders came. I had who was a diehard Florida State fan, just trying to be like my big uncle. He loved Dion, but he is actually a Steeler fan, but he loved Dion and talked about Dion obsessively. So I began to love Dion, and when he came to the Falcons, I followed suit. So I've been in here for far too long. So uh, yeah, that's it. So let's roll on, man. What's up first? What we got?
You see it.
All right, let's talk about this beatdown that we just had. Keely, what was your first thoughts on this game?
Um, I tapped out around halftime. It didn't start off well. Nothing. I got frustrated very early because it seemed more of the same. I understand we were coming off of a win. We had reasons to be optimistic, but I saw issues that I saw dating back to last season. Um, and I understand that sometimes what Shannon Sharp say, never accept anything in a win that you wouldn't accept in a loss.
That's my motto.
And I have beef with our OC. And I understand some people like to bring up certain stats like passing yards and things like that. But while everybody was celebrating those stats, I was looking at scoring because ultimately that's the only stat that matters. Um,
Correct.
and while we were top 10 in these other stats, we weren't top 10 in scoring last year. And honestly, if it weren't for Kirk's run from like the Phillies game up to when he got mollywopped in New Orleans, I don't even think we probably would have offense would have looked that well. Um, So when it was a game in which we started off slow, and I saw the same offense and the same issues, so that frustrated me. And once it started going downhill, I just kind of tapped out. I did go back, and for everybody who's watching, I did go back and watch the second half, but it was enough for me to just kind of step away.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I as well said the same thing. I'm seeing the same things, issues that I had with the OC from last year, bleeding into this year. A bunch of last year, he would do every game, he would do the same screenplay a couple times a game. Even if it doesn't work, he still wants to run it. This year, it seems to be, the passing in the flats. He'll just switch sides, but it's the same play, and it just teams are starting to recognize it. That's which is why they got a pick six. It just as a whole looked horribly. I will say the defense is, and which is what I love about football. They stood up as much as they could. You're not getting help from your offense. You're gonna get tired. Things gonna start. Excuse me. Things gonna start. Going over your head. You're just going to end up checking out. So I hold no ill will to the defense. I think they played their part. But it was a total ass kicking. Michael Penix looked bad, but I actually wanted him to. He's getting a lot of flack. I'm not giving him any flack. This is his sixth game. He is an unexperienced player. He's going to have these games. Just something we're going to have to live with. What I want to see is how he handles adversity, how he bounces back. Will he continue to, falter, or, will he stand up in the face of adversity? So I'm looking forward to him doing better. But he needed to have this game. People were crowning him as the next great thing with, little to nothing to show for it. So I'm actually happy he had this game, so that now it's gone. He's got it under his belt, and now he knows how to, take care of it. So. And what about you, Bill?
Yeah, for me, so I didn't really get to watch the game. I watched like the highlights and stuff like that. I mean, at first it seemed like it was kind of going all right, and then it just like went downhill, and all those interceptions were like, okay, we can't even catch up to these guys anymore because you're just giving them the ball. And then that fumble, and I was like, if I would have been watching the game, I know I would have been like blood pressure to 100. Yeah, it gave me a lot of like PTSD with like Matt Ryan throwing interceptions.
Uh-oh.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's always
yeah.
the Matt Ryan shots.
Matt Ryan noodle arm. That's what I called him.
Oh crap.
Yeah.
You wanna take the position and start defending the Ryan Knights, coach? Because I'm not gonna come in and save Matt. You know that.
I will not give myself that title. I would just say he's the best we had. So, it is what it is.
Based off what?
Based off what we've had.
He's
really.
he's the first in the family to graduate middle school, basically. He's the first of
So
none.
just because he was like probably here the longest out of like the past 4 quarterbacks.
It's not a probably. It's not a probably.
But I mean, he took us to a Super Bowl, lights out. So that is what it is. But
Rex,
we got what?
So who was the quarterback when Chicago played the Colts in the Super Bowl? Rex Grossman, right?
Yeah.
So is he the best quarterback in Bears history in the last 40 years?
I don't really know no Bears quarterbacks, to be honest with you.
Well, you got Jim McMahon, but that was 85. But like the point I'm making here, I don't think that's like a tip in the cap. that he took us to a Super Bowl and lost?
I mean, you might have a point, but what
Rich
I'm just
Gannon went to a Super Bowl. Cam
okay,
Newton
but
went to a Super Bowl.
yeah, and Cam Newton was a good player. So
You know what? Let me scratch because he won MVP that year. So let me scratch. Rich Gannon won MVP and went to the Super Bowl. Rich
the same
Gannon,
year,
huh?
the
Yeah,
same year.
yeah.
Oh,
He's Matt Ryan before Matt Ryan. He won MVP. He was first team All Pro and went took them to the Super Bowl.
okay. I take
If I'm
your.
not mistaken, ain't that the
word
same
for it.
year?
I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Well,
I don't really follow
well,
Gannon. I mean, dude, that was how long ago? And he was with who? The Raiders? Who was he with?
yeah, it was the Raiders. He was with
Yeah,
him, Jerry
yeah,
Rice, Tim Brown.
bro, that was like the
That was
goddamn 80s, 90s. I don't
that's
remember
like
that.
2000 because your boy
Was it?
what's the who's the coach? What Chucky the coach or your boy who's the coach for Ole Miss now?
See, I
You know
don't
what I'm
even know who
talking
that
about.
is.
Come on, he was the coordinator for he coached Tennessee. He was a coordinator for Bama. Come
Gruden?
on, he won
The only coach for the Raiders I remember is Gruden. That's it.
Lane
I
Kiffin.
don't know.
Lane
Oh,
Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin. Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
trying to think. Wasn't Lane Kiffin the coach of that Raiders team? I think. I don't
Yeah.
know. We need some fact
I don't know.
checkers. I used to be the fact checker, but now I'm not the fact checker no more. All right.
Yeah. But
We'll
anyway.
move on. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Since we what's your good, bad, and ugly from this game?
So I'm gonna give good to for me. I'm gonna give the good to the entire defense. In the face of adversity and getting their butt kicked, they could have really just gave up. I mean, although they did score 30, it could have been a lot worse. The offense did utterly nothing. One of those touchdowns wasn't even on them. So I will say, even with the odds stacked against them, I've seen a lot of things I liked about the defense. They're still flying to the ball. They're still, getting pressures on the quarterback. They're not necessarily getting him down for sacks, but they are also incredibly young, so that will come in time. Once they learn, the proper lanes and how to rush the quarterback. But my good, bad, ugly is for the entire defense as a whole.
You're good, bad, and ugly. So the defense was good, bad, and ugly.
No. They were good. They were good.
Okay. All right. So what's your bad and ugly?
The ugly is, of course, the offensive coordinator. He's just trash. Um, I can't wait for him to be gone. He should have been gone last year. Hopefully, he'll be gone this year. And then my bad is, of course, Michael Penix. He had a bad game. I don't think that's indicative of the player he is, but he definitely has to improve on his reads. I mean, there was a lot of times the middle of the field was wide open and he completely just missed it and threw it elsewhere. And he has to. He had this issue in college and he's still having this issues in pro. He has to learn to put touch on the ball. Once he does that, I think sky's the limit for the young fella. So that's my good, the bad, and the ugly.
Deb, you want to go?
Sure. So there wasn't really any good this past game. I mean, I guess like I want to always talk about London because that's my favorite player. So he had a good couple catches. That's Robinson was good, I guess. Um Bad. Yeah, I agree with you. Probably Penix had a bad game because he wasn't that. I mean, he was doing good. The last couple of games we had, I thought he was doing good, and then this game was just trash. Ugly. I mean, the score basically tells it all. That was ugly. That was the worst.
Yeah, absolutely ugly for sure.
All right, so my good, and I will characterize good as some mild wings from R. Thomas Diner. People from Atlanta, y'all might know about them. So slept on place, but for R. Thomas, I'm gonna give my good to the score, the rule, whoever made the rule that the NFL game should only be 60 minutes. Thank you. I'm happy that that game was only 60 minutes. So whoever came up with that rule, thank you. The bad, which I will say, and it's going to be controversial, which would be American Deli. I'm going to give it to Penix as well. I think he has potential, but one of the things I'm noticing though is that the scouting report, the draft day report about him, has been pretty true to form. Now, one of the knocks coming out of college was that, you know, touch and intermediary passes. At Washington, he threw the ball and he threw it. he threw it far. If you got Rome Meduze and you got Jalen Polk and the receiver, there's plenty reason to just throw it and chunk it. But one of the criticisms was, you know, the intermediary, the middle of the field.
Yep.
And we're seeing that. And one of the things, and this is not, because I believe in Penix. I believe that he will be a starter, a quality NFL starter in this league. Will he be a future All-Pro? I don't know. But one of the things coming out of college, when you look at that draft profile, I'm gonna make some people mad, but Will Levis came out with a higher grade. And he reminded me of Will Levis in the sense that everyone said he had first round potential because of that arm. But he just didn't grade out as much. But even though his grade, technically, if you go onto the NFL.com, you check the draft profiles, his grade is higher.
Right.
Now, that's not to say that they're always right, but I will say that was one of the things I was kind of leery about. Was some of the same things people were kind of leery about Will Levis about. The ugly or touchdown wings.
Now, all these wing places in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah, because I've never heard of any of them.
Yeah.
So, our Thomas is a single restaurant. It's on Peachtree. American Deli is in every hood of Atlanta nation, like all over Atlanta. That's probably if you talk to anybody from Atlanta, that's probably gonna be the most popular wing spot that everyone says, because it's just on every single hood. But to me, the wings are just too small and fried too hard. Like I'm a wing snob. Y'all not gonna feed me this.
See, I've only ever heard about Magic City's wings, so that's it.
I'm gonna tell you this about Magic City wings. I think if you eat them in Magic City, they're gonna be delicious. If you get them Uber Eats to the house, they're just gonna taste like regular. You can't have Magic City wings without the ambiance. Like, it's just not gonna be the same. Like, Uber Eats, I've ordered them on Uber Eats on a night, had them come to the house, they don't taste the same. So that's why I left them out. People will claim that they're great, but I think you're on the high of the ambiance, me personally.
Gotcha.
All right.
Gotcha.
Now, touchdown, you got to be hungry. Like, you ever had Wingstop?
Yeah.
That's what they remind me of. You just gotta be hungry.
Gotcha.
All right. So the ugly, I'm gonna combine Zach and Rod because I'm tired of them, man. Like, I'm sick and tired of them too. I do think I blame Zach inexperience. This is only his second year on the job. But Rob, matter of fact, I'm gonna get the ugly to Rob. I'm gonna spare Zach, even though Dan Orlovsky did a brilliant breakdown of all the issues with what they're doing and some of the predictability with this offense. But I'm gonna give it to Rob because, bro, you've been in the NFL in some coaching capacity for over 2 decades. You've been a head coach for going on, talking about like 5 years of experience. Like, he's 1 game shy of 80 games as a head coach. So at this point, it's not like he's a new coach. Like, if you haven't figured it out by 80 games, I don't know what to expect at this point. You know, he's 80 games in as a head coach, as the guy, not as a, coordinator, as the head coach. So that's my ugly. I'm gonna give it to Rob.
Okay. Yeah, those are all good, bad, and uglies. I agree with everyone's. Just a horrible show overall. It was very much that you can look at that game and see some good in. I mean, you really just got to be a fan to see some good in that game because it wasn't much. So spot on.
So, Coach, this is called an effective transition. So I'm complaining about the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
However, is the coaching responsible or is it the talent? Which is it?
For me, it's coaching, hands down. The guys look, I mean, it's reminiscent of the ass kicking we took last year to Seattle. You know what I mean? Like, they look.
Hold on. Add one more ass whooping to it. There was another game that year where we got our ass handed to us.
What game was that?
Denver.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What was the? I don't remember the score.
38-6.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Phoenix came in to do 3 snaps at the end of the game because we got just blown out from the jump.
Yeah. I remember. I don't know why the Seattle game stands out to me because I don't remember the Denver one, but I remember that Seattle game, and they just put the pause on us. Like, I mean, they like it was like little league playing against high school. I mean, they just demolished us from what I remember. I don't remember the Denver game, but it's the players looked like they were, not prepared. The plays were just trash. I mean, everything about the game was just horrible. That I mean, look wise, even though I know we lost by more, you said in the Denver game, and I think we lost by more in the Seattle game as well. I think this was in the Raheem era. I think this was the worst looking loss. I mean, it just looked utterly like a train wreck. I mean, if I was the coach, like, I really wouldn't do it. But I mean, it was almost to the point where you want to just tell them pack up and just get on the bus. You know what I mean? Like, forget playing the rest of the game. Y'all look like y'all don't want to be here today.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that is definitely on. The coaches didn't get them prepared. And like
Oddly,
you, go ahead.
sorry to cut you off, but you said you think this is the worst loss. I think that Denver lost is worse than this. But continue.
Look, I'm talking look wise. You think the Denver game? But
Payton
at least we scored at the Denver game.
But what I'm telling you is that Sean Payton looked like Coach Raw looked like he didn't belong in the same stadium with Sean Payton.
Yeah, but the difference is Carolina is like one of the worst teams in the league. Like, Carolina is ass. At least Denver wasn't that bad. I mean, they fucked around and made the playoffs, didn't they? Or close to it.
They did. But here's my distinction, though. I feel like Carolina, we lost because it looks like we walked away still feeling that we were the better team. We were just bad. With Denver, it looked like we're not equal. It looked like, I think, with the Carolina game, it looked like University of Florida invited a team in for homecoming, right? And we just didn't show up. We were the better team. We just didn't show up. Now, playing in Denver, we look like Appalachian State going to Tuscaloosa, playing Alabama. Alabama's like, we look like we didn't belong on the same field with them. To me, that's the difference. Like, I walked away with the Carolina game. I felt like we had the more talented team. We just got out coached. But with that Denver team, I was just like we're a double A, team versus going against, the best in the SEC. But that's just my opinion.
It was horrible. But yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But either way, it's definitely not.
My question: did you feel like we were still the more talented team after the Carolina game? Did you still feel like?
Okay. I think we've been the better. I think we've been the better talented team in every game we played this year so far. You know what I mean? I think outside of Baker, that new receiver they got their version of Julio Jones now. So without Baker, but outside of Baker, what's his name again?
Whatever his name is, you're stretching it though.
Bro, that dude's good, bro. He's good.
So he's good.
No, what I'm saying is they have their Julio. They have their go-to receiver that's probably going to be the best receiver ever in their franchise. I'm not comparing his talent to Julio. I'm saying they got their Julio. But outside of Baker, outside of the quarterback position and the wide receiver position, I feel like we were hands down the better talented team versus Tampa. We were hands down a better talented team versus who else did we play? Tampa Bay, the Panthers, and who the hell else we play?
Play Minnesota.
Yeah. Damn, I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, well, we're definitely hands down better talented team than all those teams. So we should be 3-0 right now. But coach didn't put them in the best position to win. Koo should have never been on the team. Now we're scrambling to get a kicker. You should have handled that in the off season. Should have just brought more than just one kicker to compete against Koo for that job. Should have had 4, 5, 6 kickers, competing for that job. You needed it. So my answer to the question is, without a doubt, hands down, is absolutely a coaching issue across the board. He never set himself up for success from Jump Street. You hire 2 rookie coordinators. Like, who does that at your second bite of the apple? I can see if this was your first bite of the apple, but this is your second bite of the apple. You lose this job, you're effectively probably dead in the NFL when it comes to head coaching. I can't see a team giving you another team giving you the shot to coach, and you were horrible at 2 different franchises. So yeah, he never set himself up for success. So totally on coaching.
I think he's living off of that 110-win season. They didn't make the playoff that year, but he got Tampa to 10 wins. That's the only winning season he has in his coaching career. But I think he's still kind of living off of that 10-win season. And before we go to Dale, I just want to, just for contrast. So against Carolina, we had 17 first downs in that game, 6 rushing and 11 passing, and we had a total yards of 332, right? In that Denver game, we had 12 first downs total compared to 17. And our total yards for that game, rushing and passing, amounted to 226. We only had 176 passing yards, 50 rushing.
Yeah, we got stomped. We got curb stomped. That's for sure. Teeth on the pavement, foot to the back of the head.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dale.
No, I definitely think it's coaching. A lot of bad play calling. And it just, I don't know. I don't even, like, he said everything that I was saying. I was agreeing to everything that he was saying, really. It's just, I think that we've had, like, talent, like, a lot of talent, especially, like, the past couple of years. And it just was not utilized the right way.
Now, with you as a fan looking at this, you know, what is it that goes through your head? Like you buy Atlanta Falcons merch, you know, shout out to the thing you got on your head. You buy Atlanta Falcons merch, you know what I mean? Like what is that? What does watching a game like this make you feel as a fan?
I mean, it's just exciting for me. Like but like I make jokes every year, like, okay, my blood pressure is about to go up as soon as football season starts, because the Falcons. But I don't know, it's just exciting to watch. And then like I said before, I didn't know anything about football, so at first I would just watch and be like, oh, who wins, let's see who wins. But then the more I watched and the more I learned things, like the more is just more exciting to, like, oh no, he didn't, like, or like a flag or something, like, no, that wasn't it, like they called it, like they shouldn't have called that, or like, oh, they should have called that, or stuff like that. But it's just, for me, it's just like, okay, that's my team's playing, and I like football, but really the Falcons are like the main games that I watch. I don't really watch any other team play.
Right. I mean, but as a fan looking at this game, how does getting your ass whooped in a game like this make you feel as a fan, as someone who buys a lot of merch? Because I know you buy a lot of merch. So Falcons, you have a lot of
Oh, I
Falcon
mean, and
gear.
I talk about the Falcons all season long too. And people, if you look at my social media, people will be there talking crap. And then I'll even like sometimes make fun of myself. Like the other day, I posted a clown picture of someone wearing a freaking Falcons outfit, and like, this is how I feel today, like a clown.
Yeah, they definitely make you feel some type of way with a loss
Right.
like that.
I had
It's
people
like,
messaging me, "What's wrong with your team?" I'm like, I don't even know. Like, don't even speak of this.
yeah, right. Just erase this from your memory.
Yeah.
It is the way. And what about you, Kim?
I would say this. I've never. I'm on record. I was not a fan of Terry, but I do think Terry has. I always feel like if you're going to build a team, it's got to be through the draft. That's the key. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to build through the draft, and you fill in the missing pieces in free agency. And what I would say is these last couple, especially this last draft, I think Terry hit it out the park. So I don't think it's the talent. I have to give Terry his credit. I'm not a fan of the Pitts pick at 4. There's a lot of picks. I wasn't a fan of the idea of drafting Ritter. I saw him at Cincinnati. I wasn't a fan. So there's things I don't like because of those reasons. I don't like the fact that Kirk has a no trade clause. Don't like that. I don't like the indecision of, hey, we're gonna get Kirk and then come back and we're gonna possibly draft. I don't like that either. However, I don't think it's the talent. And I see there's a video circulating on social media with Dan Orlovsky breaking down the coaching, and then Swagoo is also weighing in with how this is just terrible in terms of scheme and schematics and whatnot. And I consume a lot of Falcon content, so I was watching PFF, right? Their breakdown, and here's the 3 stats that got me. Penix have only went under center 13 times in 3 games. He's only been under center 13 times. Of those 13, 12 of those times he went under center, they were running plays. 12 out of 13. That's one stat. 2, when they're in the gun, when they're in shotgun, 93% of those snaps are pass plays. 93% of the time they're in the gun is a pass play. And over 70% of the time that they're in the pistol, it's a run play. You should not be 90% out of any formation. Nah.
It shouldn't even be 50%. Like you should be switching it up for sure.
Bro, like 93% of the time that you're in the gun is it, and I get that's not necessarily a formation in which a lot of running is done out of, but that's bad. I do believe, and you can kiss it goodbye for this season, because I mean, if there's any hopes of putting him on the center, that's stuff you do in training camp and in the off season. But you can't necessarily rewrite a playbook mid-season. But it just breathes to me. It just sounds like incompetence more than anything, like immaturity. They just aren't. This a young OC who hasn't done a lot, and it just seems like it's kind of showing. There may be other things in play. I know they were talking about what's the guy name who he's the beat reporter for, not the beat reporter, but he works with the Falcons, former quarterback. I forgot his name. But they were talking about there's been communication issues. He said that the play calling may be a little too wordy. And then you only got 15 seconds in the mic, which is probably why they're bringing him down to the field, because you only get 15 seconds before the mic cuts off in your headset. So right. What he was explaining is that sometimes the play calls can be very wordy. So that first part could be just the alignment, how people are supposed to line up. And then by the time you get to the part with play or where he wants you to go, like then the mic is cutting off. So then Penix has to go figure it out. So what he explained was by him coming to the field, then even when the mic cuts out, he can yell from the sideline, whatever those calls are. Mm-hmm. Now, how long has that been an issue? Like
right.
So it looks like it's been an issue since game 1, because he was doing it in game 1, but I mean, in game 2 it happened, but game 2, I think you get, I wouldn't say grace. I think you could kind of give him a slight pass because it's extremely loud at the Viking Stadium. They're like the new Seattle they're like the new Seattle team. So, you know.
But here's what I'm saying. If you only got 15 seconds in the headset, right, before it shuts off, mm-hmm. and your play calls go beyond 15 seconds, like this wasn't something y'all planned for before the season. Like, hey, we only get 15 seconds in the headset, but my play calling goes beyond 15 seconds. Like, this isn't something that you're concerned or concerned about or practice or address prior to the season.
Right. I think there will be a notch under the cap of all those who say preseason matters, because I guess you would learn that in preseason.
And because you don't have to worry about that in scrimmages, you don't have to worry about a headset going out in scrimmages.
Right.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's for all those reasons, and I kind of went on, but for all those reasons, it's definitely coaching, because even beyond scheme, just stuff as simple as we don't have enough time. My play calls are too long to fit within 15 seconds before the headset goes out. Even in that, that's just something that you would think an experienced coach would have handled prior to. And that's a frustration for me. I don't like the pistol at all either. Like, man,
I'm with you on that. Like the pistol should have been gone. You know, like
get that man under center, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, it goes back to last year. You had the number one play action quarterback in the league in your building, and you ran pistol almost as much as you did this year. Last year, you have the two best running arguably the two best 1-2 punch running backs tandem in the league. Why aren't you running tons of play action? Because you know they're gonna key on Bijan, run some play action. So
this bleeds into the next topic. This bleeds into the next topic because you already started on it. I feel like you gotta pick and choose. You gotta either make Penix comfortable or go with what you got. Like you're gonna have to pick, like, all right, what does Penix work well in, or what does Bijan work well in? Because Bijan is essentially the offense. And I would think at this point, I mean, Penix is the guy now. You can't go back and say, all right, we're gonna let you sit, take some time to let you develop and figure it out. Like how to quarterback from under center. Those, like, you gotta go now. But to me, it would make sense to do what's best for Bijan and Algier. That's my opinion. Put a fullback back there. Get Penix on the center, or even if you offset, even if you got to be in the gun, let him offset. We don't need that pistol. Just pick a side. Give me a fullback, and let's run. When those safeties come up, let Penix take his shots at that point. He's still developing. Let him take his shots at that point. But I do think we need to just sell out on, hey, it is what it is. We're one thing we do feel like we can do is run the ball. So let's go all in on running the ball. I would love, of course, for them to just, you can't fire Zach and just bring in the OC and just change everything right now. But I feel like that is the most reasonable compromise if you plan on keeping your job. Go ahead, Coach. No, I'm sorry. I was supposed to kick it to Dale that time. Go, Dale. How do we fix this?
Did you put the mute button?
I did.
Okay.
Coach is still learning how to operate technology. He's still figuring it out.
For sure. My bad. Go ahead, Dale. What do you think is wrong?
What you're saying is basically we should be running the ball more than passing or like throwing it.
We should get rid of that pistol. Throw that shit in the trash. We should be bringing in the fullback and just say, Bijan and Algier, you're going to take us home. You two are going to save our jobs. So what we're going to do is help you help us. We're going to put a fullback in front of y'all, and y'all are going to run and keep us out the unemployment line. That would be my advice for everyone on that coaching staff. We're running the ball. We're getting a fullback. Get rid of that pistol. If he's not comfortable, under center, cool. We're gonna offset. We're in shotgun, but I have a fullback though. Let's go. Like, I'm running the ball into oblivion. We're going to be, 2019 Georgia Bulldogs with Jay Fromm, and it was like, we don't care. We don't care if y'all daring us to pass. Like, we know Fromm can't pass. However, we're still going to run the ball 50 times a game. And when we're not throwing it, it's going to be a dink to Swift in the in the flats. Like, we might throw it twice a game. I don't care. Like, Go get Kirby from Athens. Go get some advice from Kirby then.
I would say only thing I would say to that is you want Penix to mature. You know, you want him to get better as being being able
be
to
employed as well.
So
To be
I
employed as
get
well.
you, but it's still I gotta have him pass. Like I'm cool with passing, and running, but yeah, it's just I'll go into it when I talk. Go ahead, Dad.
No, what I was thinking though, I think that they would get wore out though, because I've been saying this for years, and this is what happens to the Falcons every year. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is, doesn't matter the players. First half we're good. After that freaking second half starts, it's like they give up, and I think they're just wore out. Like I don't know. I don't know if they're wore out or they just give up or they like, oh, we got this, and then they come back and it's like, oh shit. But it's just I've said this year and year and year and year. Like every year, it's always. So what happened on the second half? Like where was the team at? And I think like if we ran the ball like that, I don't know. I think they would get wore out.
All right. So how about this, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
In 2008, what happened in the draft?
2008. Didn't we get that's the year we got Matt Ryan, right?
With the number 3 pick, what did we do that year?
Ran the ball.
Did we run the ball a little or a lot?
We ran the ball a shit ton.
We made the playoff that year too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You want to know how many pass attempts Matt had that year? Who do you think scored more touchdowns that year? You think Matt or Turner?
Oh, for sure, it was Turner. I think Matt probably threw the ball probably less than 100 times.
It wasn't that bad,
right at 100.
It might have been somewhere. It might have been somewhere like in the 400. Now, keep in mind, an excessive year for most quarterbacks, like 600 times, 600 attempts.
Oh, okay.
But
I know he didn't throw a lot. That's all I know.
If it was a play action.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. That.
So Believe in the Falcons is a podcast with Michael Turner and Ovi Mahaley. And in a recent episode, they were talking about Ovi said he believed in 2010 was their Super Bowl year. They should have won in 2010. Both of them were all pro that season, both Ovi and Michael Turner.
Right. Is that the year we got straight stomped by Green Bay?
We were the number 1 seed. We were 13-3. We were the number 1 seed, and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers came into our house
and destroyed
as a wild card. Aaron Rodgers came in with like 12 to 14 players on injured reserve. I cried that night. Not gonna lie, I remember everything about that night. It was snow. It was ice on the ground. It was cold. We weren't supposed to be driving on the streets because there was ice everywhere. And Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't a fan of Matt coming out the draft because I saw him at BC. But that night, boy, hey, that was where he became my op that night. Matt became my op that night because it was real bad and Aaron Rodgers was real good.
Hell yeah. I think it was like 40-something to 3. Like we got destroyed. We got utterly destroyed.
It was bad. They definitely scored somewhere around 40 to 50 points on us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in the 40s. But
Matt helped them with that as well because he threw a couple interceptions at the wrong time. Like we'll be in the red zone and there we go. But yeah, that to me, I think between the 2010 and 2014, that's arguably the most talented Falcons roster that I've ever seen in my life. But with that being said, in 2008, with a young Matt Ryan, and they did this all the way up to 2012, they ran the living shit out of Michael Turner. And OV got in basically car wrecks every single Sunday, 30 times a game. We have another young quarterback that we've taken in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're definitely speaking facts, bro. Like,
You know how many times we made the playoffs in those 4 years with that philosophy? We made the playoffs in 2008. Michael Turner got hurt in 2009, and we didn't make the playoffs because Michael Turner was hurt.
right,
2010, we made the playoffs with the number 1 seed. And then
right,
2011, we made the playoffs again. 2012, Turner was burnt out, but we still made it to the NFC Championship game. So out of a 5-year span, we made the playoffs 4 years by running the football. But to be fair, when Cutter got here, they opened it up for Matt at that point.
right. So in my opinion, what's wrong with the offense is a little bit of what you just alluded to. You know, I'm cool with the offense going through Bijan. I'm just not cool with the offense being totally Bijan. Like you know, we have in this past game, it was if I was Michael, if I was Kyle Pitts, I'd be like, bro, trade me right now. Like,
And
the amount of times that Kyle Pitts was wide smack open in the middle of the field and did not get the ball is really criminal, and it really injustice to him, because everyone always asks what's wrong with him, why is he not involved. They kind of like they kind of make it sound like it's an issue with him, and I that's just not. This past game was a glaring showcase that it is absolutely not him. You know, it's it is it's the in my estimation, it's the predictability of our offense. Like I said, it's Bijan or nothing. Um, there is no trickery. There is no, you know, I mean, it sounds stupid, but show me some reverses. Show me, you know, do something that will make the team be like, the defense be like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. You know, I seen a stat before Wednesday's game. I mean, for Sunday's game that said in the intermediary, Michael Penix Jr. has only thrown the ball 10 plus yards 3 times. He has only thrown 20 plus yard passes 4 times. He has 1 touchdown pass. You know, these are glaring issues. Uh, but like you, I think that the offense would best be suited if it ran through Algier and Bijan. Like I want to see an OC that's creative with these two guys. And I know it's old school and no team does it anymore. But you know, wishbones. Show me a power eye. You know, do you have again arguably the 2 best running back tandem in the league? Use them, put them both on the field at the same time, make teams guess who is going to get the ball. You know what I mean? Like, it is so rudimentary that it's just it doesn't work. It hasn't worked all season, and I just feel like it's, unless something drastically changes, it's going to get worse. The one thing I will say about the OC coming down to the field is, hopefully, if Michael Penix has another game like he had Sunday, that he will sit him down with the tablet and show him, like, look, bro, Kyle Pitts is wide open right here. What were you looking at? Kyle Pitts was wide open right here. What were you looking at? You know, you do have a young, inexperienced quarterback. He's going to mess up, and make no mistake. MPJ played incredibly shitty. Like, he played like he wouldn't even be a starter on a high school team as bad as he played, you know? So he's going to have those issues in those times, because this is his 6th game or whatever. You know, sit him down on the sideline, you know, when the defense is out there. Show him the tablet. Like, look here, you know, when you was going to drop back and you threw this pass to Drake London, look at what Kyle Pitts was. He was wide open. You know, when you check down and threw this ball to Bijan, look right here. Kyle Pitts was wide open, or Darnell Mooney, or whoever. You know, sit him down during the game
Well,
and
coach,
show him game film.
well, coach, that during the press conference, to be fair, Zach said that is part of. I mean, outside of the play calling and whatnot, but that was also one of the things that he mentioned. As far as in the press conference about coming down to the field is, it says one thing being on the phone, but being able to have that conversation face to face, as far as on the tablet and whatnot, is one of the reasons.
Well, yeah, I mean, but again, why did it take you getting your face stomped in on in this manner for this to be?
Just to relay the message he said that they had already considered, and this is Zach talking in the press conference. He said that they had already previously considered it, even with Kirk. Because I'm just addressing because that question was asked at the press conference.
Yeah. I feel like that's saving face, because if that was a consideration, then why didn't you do it? You know what I mean? Like, especially with the issues you had last week, but again, I will give him grace for at least the week before last. I will at least give him grace for the week before last, because you were in Minnesota, and Minnesota was incredibly loud until we took the wind out of their sails. But the first couple of drives, it was incredibly loud. So I will kind of give him grace for that. Not really, but kind of give him grace for it. But if you had that issue, then you should have made sure that, okay, we had issue with the headsets. Let me just go on down to the field. You should have preemptively done it instead of reactionarily doing it. That's my issue with that.
Let me, for a second, just to acknowledge some of the comments. So, Uncle Steve, thanks for chiming in and stopping by. Also, Red, thank you for stopping by and chiming in. We really appreciate y'all just coming in just to hang with us even for a second. So thank you.
Thank you.
So we don't drag this on. We're gonna go ahead to our last topic.
Whoo, boy. I'm gonna let you start this one off, Keely.
You want me? Okay, all right.
But yeah, go ahead and start her off.
So I touched on this previously. Next game will be his 80th game in the NFL as a head coach. He has over 2 decades of NFL experience as a coach. That 80th game next week, that's going to basically amount to 5 years of head coaching NFL experience. To his credit, he does have that one winning season. That's the 10-win season in Tampa. And again, I think he's been living off of that 10-win season. I think I've seen enough. I think 5 years is a good, like, once you've had this is your second go around. And I think the sample size is good enough for people to determine whether or not he can get it done. I think he probably should understand that that he didn't have a lot of rope in the first place when he was coming. When you get a second chance, it's kind of like that's your go time. Like, hey, let's get it. And granted, this is his second year in his second stint. But I don't think when you're in your when you get your second chance, that you got to wait so long to make corrections. And I get he's being more aggressive this year. So, like, for example, the Jimmy Lake decision last year, it took him till the bye week before he made a change in terms of play calling.
Yeah, and that was what? Like week 14, 13, 14. It was towards the end of the season.
I think it was around 10 or 11, but that's too far gone, and that's too lax for me to me for someone that's on their second try.
Right.
Some of those decisions could be, hey, you let Kirk play a little too long for somebody that's on their second stint. You know, it's a mixed bag for me, but I think 80 games is enough to determine whether or not, you know, you have a coach or not. And his win percentage, if I did my math correctly, in 80 games as a head coach, he's only won 37.5 or either 37.8% of his games. So he has to win an awful lot of games before he can break 500 as a head coach, ultimately. I do not think that he came into the same situation that he had in Tampa where the talent is kind of lax. I do believe last year he did have talent on the team as well as this year, enough to win more than he did. So I think the ultimate indictment is when your team plays on the field and they look like they weren't prepared, when they're not competitive at all. And I've seen 3 games now in which a raw coach team looked totally unprepared and outclassed and outmatched. I think that's the ultimate indictment for a head coach. And Red made a really good point here. That may not have been a good decision, hiring rookie coordinators.
Yeah, it was the worst decision.
Yeah, that might have been that's probably a move I wouldn't advise to make if I'm getting my second chance at it. So I'm over with Raw, honestly. I just think that, I mean, there's always hope, there's always possibility. I just don't want to get trapped and lured into hope, as in, oh, well, he could turn it around. Based upon what I saw, it's just too consistent. It looks like too many times a Falcons team that entered the field and they look like they weren't prepared to play football. Like, it's one thing to lose in a competitive game, but for 3 games, that Seattle game, that Denver game, and then this Carolina game where you just look like you didn't belong on the field, like you just look like you just completely got outcoached. I don't have any hopes of a Super Bowl in the future with a coach, and that team looks like that. Deb, you up next.
I mean, I'm not really super technical with the whole, like games, but from what I've seen, I've watched some of his like conferences and stuff like that. It seems like he's just he says the same thing over and over. Oh, we're gonna prepare for the next game. Oh, we take this loss and we are learning from this and we're gonna come back the next game even better. Blah, blah, blah. And it never is. So it's like, what are you learning? Because you're not really paying attention. Like, oh, we did this wrong. Let's fix it this way. It's just over and over again, like the same mistakes, same bad play calling. Like, I mean, I know it's not all on him, but it's just like, what are we doing? So, I mean, I don't know. He just doesn't seem like that professional to me, like some of these other coaches out there, like other teams.
Yeah, I mean that's spot on. As a fan, that's what you see, and that's very spot on. For me, I said this last year, man. It's and I know my good buddy Uncle Steve tells me, said this when I said it to him. Just some guys are just not made like that, and I get that. But for me, it has always been his lackadaisical attitude. Like it's generally he's generally on the sideline and looks like he don't care. It's chewing the gum with his arms folded, just then you get stomped out by Carolina and you're laughing with one of the coaches or players or whoever that was he was talking to. It's like Keely said, it's been too many times that you could accept a loss. I can accept a bad loss, like maybe not like this, but if we were playing the Bills, which we are about to, and we got straight mud stomp like this, I would be like, okay, that's the Bills. They got, in my opinion, the best talented quarterback in the league right now. They're firing on all cylinders. Okay, I can give Raheem grace for this, but no, you got your ass whooped by young in the damn Carolina Panthers. Like that is absolutely unacceptable. It is it for me. There's a saying, and I know I'm gonna butcher it, but a good prediction of the future is the past. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't shown me anything in the past that lets me know he's gonna get better in the future. So I'm with you, Keely. I don't see why he's got the whistle. I don't see no Super Bowl in our future. I don't even really see a playoff appearance in our future. Um, it is just too. As a coach myself, I know one thing that that when you're fired up, your players get fired up. You know, when you're emotional, your players get emotional. When you show you care, your players show you care. What we're seeing on the field is a direct reflection of how Raheem is with his players. He is showing he don't care, so they get out the field and prove that he don't care. You know,
So you're
because they
saying they
don't care.
adopt his attitude.
Right.
Mhm.
They don't care. You know what I
It's
mean?
like
Like
a fun thing. It's not like, okay, this is our jobs, like this is our
right,
careers, and
So he
we gotta win.
so
right.
so the contrast, because these are the two people that are kind of connected with that job opportunity, was Bill Belichick, who isn't necessarily that kind of guy. You know, he's not the laugh and kiki person. But then you also got Raw, who was championed as the players coach. I'm because you had all these players endorsing him on Twitter and all this, and like, hey, this is a good, like, I would play for him. I love playing for Raw, you know. But we're seeing that maybe we may have. I'm not saying we needed Bill Belichick. I did want Bill Belichick, but not to say that we may have needed it, but we can see why that type of coaching attitude, the not so friendly, the stone face, the more serious tone may have been needed. Because to me, what Red said right here, Raheem is a city councilman. That's been kind of my thought process, is that he is kind of that politician, used car salesman guy. Like, hey, smile, this
For
and that.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
and and that can't. It's kind of like what we said about Arthur Smith. Like the attitude you bring it can't work when you're losing. Like,
Right.
you can't do the used car salesman guy when we just got blown out 30 to zip, you know?
Right. Right. You know, I was a starch proponent of Bill Belichick coming here. I wanted him um because he gets flack, right? Because now he's losing, yada yada yada. But what people fail to realize is coaches like him, even though he's losing right now, right? Coaches of his temperament are the ones who generally get the best out of their players. Look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid is not a hee hee ha ha smiling on the sideline. Like I know he did the commercial, but on the field, that man stone face. Look at the black head coach for the Steelers. You know what I mean? Stone
So
face. Yeah, these are guys who take their job very seriously. And when I look at Raheem, I just don't from just like a couple games in last year, like you said, the fact that this is his second time, he you know you would think that, okay, this is my second bite of the apple. I might not get another opportunity, so let me go all in. To me, he hasn't gone all in. Like again, last year with failing to make adjustments. Like he would go whole three quarters before he finally decides to make an adjustment. That is just entirely too long. If something is working, by halftime, by midway through the second quarter, if your plan is working or not. Like you may not be winning, but if your plan is working or not, and your players just need to execute better. But like you said, it's so many times we have looked completely ill prepared. Then again, like you said, you hire two rookie coordinators. I mean, if this is my second bite at the apple, man, I'm going to get the most experienced, the greatest guys on earth
Right.
to,
Someone to
to,
learn
to
from, or like have better ideas, or like come up with like a better plan or something. No, like,
what are these two rookies going to push back on you with? You know what I mean? Like, oh, coach, we don't need to do that. We need to do this. These rookies
Well,
ain't gonna do that because they don't know.
well, Jared, you do have some veterans. Like you got Jared Gray and some veterans on the staff. They're just not in coordinator positions.
Right.
But let's do this. Let's go ahead and transition because we can. I think we're all in agreement that we're not necessarily fans of Raw, or we just don't believe that. I don't want to be. I don't want to say that we don't want to end this with like he's just terrible, terrible, terrible. We just don't necessarily see success with him. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. For
Okay.
sure.
All
For
right.
sure.
All right. So being that we don't see success with him, what do you see next Sunday?
I'll start this one off.
Now keep in mind, the
Daniel's
latest report I saw was that he felt good, but I didn't see anything saying that he was playing. He just made a comment that he felt good. Continue.
Right. I mean, whether he plays or not, I have a feeling that it will be a bounce back game. I think because Rod knows that this game is imperative, because if we go down this game, we have the Bills right after that. And I forgot who after the Bills, but we could very possibly be 1-6. Like seriously, we could be 1-6. So I think he knows that. I think the guys will be very much more prepared. I think the keys to victory for this week is going to fall on Zach. Can Zach call a complete game? And I don't mean, just a bunch of passes to the flats and just running Bijan into the ground. Can you call a complete game? And I think, man, I'm going to use my fan hat for once, and I never really do that. I'm going to say I think that he will take Penix on the sideline, show him things he's missing, and improve on them. I really do think that he will do that. If he doesn't, that's the nail in the coffin for him, Raheem, and unfortunately Terry, because which sucks in my opinion, because Terry has done his thing with putting the talent on the team. You may not like the number, the players he picked at that number, but he has put talent on this team. So we got to win. And if nothing else, we definitely got to win because my entire family is from DC. I'm from DC. My entire family are Commanders fans, except for 3 people. So, yeah, I'll never hear the end of it. So, please, for the love of the football gods, please win this game.
All right, Dale.
So I'm manifesting that we win, but if the Commanders play how they were playing last year, I think we're probably gonna get our ass whooped. I mean, just the way we're playing this season, and if they play how they were playing last year, I think it. I mean, if we got beat by the Panthers, but like you said, football gods. I don't want to play, and I don't want to have to find another clown jersey meme to put on my story or a crying emoji or something.
All right, so we got Coach with the win, we got Dale with the win, Red with the win.
No, Red is guaranteeing a win.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one, brother.
I've learned early to stop doubting Red.
Oh yeah, Red be knowing. Okay.
No, okay. He's one lucky bastard. I've learned to just let Red rock out because.
Hey, well, Red, shoot me the lottery numbers then, brother.
Because last year I was like, oh yeah, we about to. Like when we lost to Pittsburgh, Red was like, we would have win like the next 3 out of 4 or something like that. And I was like, going into the Eagles, I was like, okay, whatever, red smoking crack. But
You got them all spot on.
we beat the Eagles. We lost to the Chiefs. Like Kirk just all of a sudden just went. Kirk told him, like he just went crazy, and then we beat Tampa twice, and I was like, bruh, like how, like I was like, because that didn't make any logical sense, but Red was right. But I'm
well, Red, tell us we're gonna win the next 5 games.
Well, I'm gonna go against all of y'all again. Well, no, this is conditional. If Jaden plays, I think we're losing. I think all the attention is on Zach. And I think because of all the attention is on Zach, he's definitely going to make some changes. Like the whole world is saying it's you. Right. So he's not going to come out there and do the same thing. I don't expect 93% of the, the calls out of shotgun to be a pass play. I do think, because to me, that's just asinine. Like if the whole world is looking at you and saying it's you, you're not going to come out there with the same gameplay. Like you're going to mix it up. I am trusting that Zach is going to respond like a normal human being and say, everyone is expecting me to go left, so I'm going to go right. All right. With that being said, I do think we're married to this pistol thing. And I do think because we're married to it, inherently there are flaws with it. Like there's issues with us being in this this pistol, and I think we're married to it. I don't think we can all of a sudden just switch up scheme in the middle of the season. I think we're married to it. It's a problem. They can try to fix it as best as they can, adapt as best as they can. But I do think that defenses have keyed in on tendencies, and our offense, they've keyed in on tendencies of our rookie quarterback. And I don't think we can overcome those tendencies in 1 week. Like if there's telltale signs, they've already picked this stuff up. That 93% of the time, this is what happens. 70% of the time, this is what happens.
Which was evident in the Carolina game. You could tell that they knew what we were going to do because they was jumping on it, for sure.
Yeah, if Jaden plays, though, I think I will give it to the Commanders. And I just think that we're because we're tied to a system that's just, to me, a bad system. That's why I think ultimately we would take an L if Jaden plays. If Mariota, I expect Mariota to do some Mariota things. With that being said, so I'm hoping Mariota plays. I just don't expect Mariota to play. I think if Jaden it's up to the doctors to clear Jaden. But if Jaden is already saying I feel good, I feel like they're gonna do whatever they can to make sure that he plays.
Yeah, he'll be shot at for sure. He'll be shot at for sure.
All right, so we're approaching the end of the show. Want to thank everyone for taking their time with us. And what we do at the end of the show, sometimes we'll have fan engagement portions and things like that for everybody. So please come back. We're going to have guests who come in. We're going to have people, y'all come in and y'all argue with us or whatever the case may be. It's very much so fan engagement. But to wrap up the show, we're going to allow Coach his spotlight in the coach's corner to give whatever's on his heart, all heart and minds clear. And Red, come back. Red, come back and shop with us. If you got something to say, just let us know. Anybody who, because thank you, Red, for supporting on this first show, this first episode.
Thanks, brother.
I know you
as well. I seen Uncle Steve jumped in here. Yeah. Thank you guys as well.
Yeah, but he's definitely adding to the show with his comments and his commentary. So appreciate it. And if you want to come on here and fuss at us or call us stupid knuckleheads like you traditionally do, I know Red has calmed down a lot since the first time I met him. He was really wired and would just kind of like fly off the handle and just call everybody.
Red's still that way. Good shout out to my brother Red. He's still that way.
Red has calmed down a lot. He's a changed man. But go ahead with your coach's corner, sir.
All right, my Falcon family. This not even gonna be a rant. I thought I was gonna rant this time, but you know, I'm not gonna rant because again, I think that Penix needed this game. I don't think we needed to get our asses whooped, but Penix needed to have a bad game. So for this coach's corner, I'm gonna as probably normal. I'm gonna speak to the defense. My defense. I'm gonna need y'all to show up this game. Um, I don't know if it was a little bit of FTS
You gonna
last
break that
game.
down for us?
F that
Okay.
F that sugar honey iced
I,
tea.
I picked it up as soon as I asked. Literally right as I asked, I picked it up. Go ahead.
FTS, yeah, I don't know if it's a little bit of FTS. You know, because the offense was playing so horrible that you allowed the Panthers to get 30. Well, 20, what is it, 23? Because 7 of that came from a pick six. But yeah, I'm gonna need you to go back down in lockdown mode. I do want to see. Generally, we have. I think that the numbers is 43% blitz rate. I would like to see that go up to at least 56 percent blitz rate. I'm gonna need you guys to stick to your routes when blitzing, because too many quarterbacks are just moving up in the pocket and getting free. So I'm gonna need y'all on the ball this game. We got to hold the offense down because the offense clearly is struggling. For once, it ain't our side of the ball, it's the other side of the ball. So we just need y'all to keep it up. Keep doing your thing, you know. Shout out to my man John. He threw me off. Not ranting this time, John. It'd be enough times to rant, man. Um, uh, and just stick with it, man. I think Watts, you were my guy from the beginning of the season. I told everybody you were going to be the most important part of the defense when everybody thought it was Walker. Go figure, because he's from Georgia. I'm gonna need you to show up this time. AJ's not there.
To be fair, they're really not using Jalen correctly, but go ahead.
Okay. But I'm gonna need you to show off this week, man. Rook, I'm gonna need you to show off this weekend. I really want to see a dominant performance from the entire defense. If we can do that, I'm happy. The offense is trash. Clearly, they can't score, so it's gonna be up to our side of the ball. Get the ball, run to the end zone, give us the game, please. And that is the coach's rant.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for participating. This is one of many, so we will see y'all in a week.
Sure.
We may have some pop-ins every now and then when events happen. We'll jump in and out. So just stay tuned to us. We'll come in and out, but expect to see us on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
And please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If we get enough like, shares, and subscribe, I'll send everybody a raw, sexy chicken. So,
all right, that's how you want to end. Anything you gotta say, Dale?
No,
Miss
just come
Deb, the
back.
queen of
Everybody
the
come
show.
back. Share the live so we can get more people in here. We can interact more with everybody.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. Show one is done. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.